Craig, once again, obviously, congratulations on the 600 games, but on the field, not the result you wanted. What went wrong in the second half?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, Jake, to be quite honest. Certainly wasn't the result we wanted, but the lack of effort was the thing that stood out for me. There was a little bit like last week. We didn't play so well in the second half either, but we were. I don't know. I can think of a couple of words, but I probably can't say them. But on that second half, like that was 40-0 in a half a footy. That's embarrassing. So that's about the nicest word I could use.
Apparently that's your worst half in Storm history. Apparently we said in the coverage, like conceding points. I don't know if one brings to mind for you, but
no,
when you're up 10-0, you would have thought there was a much better second half performance coming, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. We were up 10-0, and then we get 40 put on us in the second half. There's. And with all due respect, for me, it was just, we obviously, the Roosters are a good side. They've got some really good attacking players, but we were soft as butter in the second half.
Were you actually really happy with your defence in the first half? They had a lot of opportunities. Your goal line defence was
I thought we scrambled really well. Perhaps some of our contact wasn't probably, where we would like it to be, but you're not going to get it 100% perfect all the time. So I thought we'd done a really good job in the first half, but it was like different team in the second half. So as I say, I really can't say how disappointed I am in that performance, and especially coming at this time of the year. It's
Craig, I'm sure you had a plan for how you're going to rest players this week and next week. Do you revisit that now, given the nature of that performance, or were you just...
Yeah, no, we sort of planned on resting players this week. We're probably not going to rest a whole heap next week, so
is it important now that you play well? I mean, obviously it's important you play well, but coming off that, is it even more important that you play well next week heading into the finals? Or?
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be going to the finals not playing well, and like I say, I'm not quite sure how. Like I say, the nicest thing I can say about our second half, I just, it's all a bit surreal, and for that to happen, but it's happened, so we've got to deal with it and work out why, and then move on.
On a personal note, like Craig, is it hard to get up there and accept a award and have people here for your 600th? Like, can you separate the two, or is it too difficult to do?
It was embarrassing, actually, to be quite honest, to go out there and especially with Andrew coming down and that sort of stuff. I found that. Anyway, here's what it is.
What were the players like in the sheds then? I guess it was pretty quiet. Did they have anything to say for themselves?
I had a fair bit to say, but they didn't say a whole lot.
Greg, you disappointed to see Nelson on report late in that game?
Yeah, certainly disappointed, but we'll see what happens and go from there.
What did you think about the incident?
Yeah, I must say I didn't think there was too much. I ain't sort of, again, I don't really watch the replays a whole heap, so I ain't sort of seen the live thing. Again, I didn't think there was a whole heap, but at the end of the day he's on report, so it's obviously something.
Good to see Will Warbrick finally back out there.
Yeah, it's always, like it was. It's been a long time, and with all due respect, the Will, it's been a tough journey for him, a real tough journey actually. So, it was really good to see him, go out and play well. I thought, there wasn't too much he did wrong out there, tonight, so, I thought his game was, wasn't many bright things happened for us today or good things to come out of that game, but I thought if there was one thing, it was his form after how long he's been out.
Craig, do you expect Jerome Hughes to play next week?
Yeah.
No.
Friends and family around.
Say again, mate.
Friends and family around. How are you going to personally spend the next 24 hours, get over this game?
Yeah, I don't know. If you come and see me 2 or 3 hours time, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Craig, from the coaching perspective, is this the sort of loss where you sort of collaboratively get together with the team leaders and sort of recalibrate during the week to try and get it back on track next week? And there's a finals campaign in the offering, and sort of remotivate to the next few weeks, because it is one loss, but it's one that it'll sting. But how do you sort of get these players to lead from now so they do learn from tonight's performance?
Yeah, well, again, we've had a bit of a chat already. They'll give their impressions on the game, or their thoughts, and then we'll get together and again work out why, or try and work out why, and then go from there. Because there's a little. Again, it wasn't, as stand out last week, but we had a really good first half last week as far as our form was, and then the second half, we struggled a bit as well, So I don't know, whether we're sort of going back out there a little bit complacent, or again, I'm not quite sure. We've had a couple of really poor second halves. Obviously, the second half tonight was a lot worse than last week, but so there's a little bit of a pattern there. So we'll get together and come up with a few things, and then we'll work on that and see what happens. But at the end of the day, it's getting close to the other competition at the end of the season. So if some of the players can't get excited for that, well, we don't want them in the team. At the end of the day, it's when the finals start, you want everyone on board and doing what the team needs you to do, and go from there. So as I said, we just need to work that out. Get everyone on board, and if they don't want to be on board, well, they can come and sit with me.
Craig, can I quickly just take you back to Jerome? Does he need to? Is he right to go, or does he have to get through some contact? Or
no, he'll need to get through a little bit. Again, he's been out a while. It's going to be hard for him, in his game back. But we prefer that a week before or 2 weeks before the finals, and coming back in the finals game. So he's really keen to get back next week. Again, if the medical people think it's not. It's not plausible, or it's it's a real big risk, well, we probably won't do it. But I'm not quite sure how much we'd use him in the finals then if he hasn't played any footy before the finals. So we're really keen to get him back out there next week, and he's keen to do it. He thinks he's feeling okay with the shoulder. So hopefully the week will turn out okay.